Welcome to the mini masterclass with Deniz. We're doing Myofa Qigong, movement 2, lifting the sky. I'm going to show you the movement first and then we're going to run through it together. Okay, that's movement 2, lifting the sky. So it looks like there's a lot to do in this movement, and yes, you're right, there is. So we're going to break this down together and then we're going to put it all together as one beautiful movement. So then, as you saw when I started the movement, I did a couple of the previous movement just to transition into it. So once we've done the microcosmic orbit, the body doesn't descend at this stage, and then my palms turn. Palms turn, ideally the palms are parallel with the ground, but my elbows are bent. So it's not a case of pushing down to the ground, it's having your hands parallel with the ground with bent elbows, and you'll feel these lines of tension build from your palms up through your arms, and perhaps you'll even feel it across your chest, which is great. So with your fingers pointing to each other, the hands just gently float upwards. Float up. Now for all of us this is different. For some of you this is going to be the maximum height you can get to. For some of you it may be here. For some of you who are hypermobile, you might be able to go way beyond the line of your body. Well, of course we don't want to go way beyond. Ideally the hands eventually will come above the head, so the palms are opposite to here. So rather than facing the earth, they're going to be lifting the sky. But if your hands can't get that high, it doesn't mean you can't do the movement. It just means you only bring them to the height that your body is comfortable with. Okay, so please do that. You'll see me do the full range of movement because that's where I'm comfortable to do it. So with the hands parallel with the ground, they rise up and they gently lift the sky. Now they lift the sky without locking your elbows again, and we're just lengthening through your entire body as you do this, the entire body without stretching. So it's a lengthening movement. Now the hands come down. As the hands come down, my body sinks. We've done the sinking and closing and opening before. Now as I lift the sky, my heels gently come off the ground, just a little. Again, be safe, be comfortable. Bring your weight to the balls of your feet, not your toes, and back down again. So lift the sky, lift your heels, bring your hands back down and sink. Lift the sky, lift your heels and down. My heels are only coming up an inch or so off the ground. That's it. Good. Now I'm conscious this is tiring for the arms, so just shake through your arms and we'll get to the next stage. So that's the lifting the sky part. If your hands can't get this high and they only can get to this far, make sure your shoulders aren't up by your ears and you just push outwards. So ultimately we're surrounded by sky. So the sky can be in front of you too. So when you push outwards, you can lift your heels. Come back, bring your heels back down to the ground. Push out, lift your heels back down to the ground. a variation on lifting the heels. If lifting both heels is challenging for you, you may feel a little vulnerable to fall. Of course, we don't want that. So lift one heel at a time. Okay, so if your hands out here, you can lift one heel, bring your hands back. Lift your other heel, bring it back. Okay, good. So let's just do that again. Palms parallel with the ground. Up. Lift the sky, lift your heels, sink. Just a little. Lift the sky, lift your heels, sink. Just a little. Excellent. Well done. So that's the first part of the movement. The second part is the spiraling of the body. Again, your hands can be here when you do this, or here. So once I've finished lifting the sky, my feet are firmly grounded, I gently spiral through my body. Now, what I'm looking for is a full connection, so my body is like a corkscrew. I feel the connection go all the way through my body. It's very similar to when we do the swings in our warm-ups. So with my arms up here, I'm going to turn and I'm going to leave my feet grounded, and I'm gently going to feel it, and I'm feeling all the way coming up through my shoulders now, my neck. Now what I've got to be careful of is that my knees point forward as I do this. Don't let your knees turn with you. They stay pointing forward. Then I come back to the center, and then I spiral the other way. Please don't over spiral. Just gently feel the connection. Good. Back to the center. Shake out through your arms. So that's the second part. First part, lifting the sky. Second part, spiraling. Third part is the rainbow dance. Now once we have spiraled left and right, I'm now going to slosh, again, part of our warm-ups, but we use all of those warm-ups, they're still Qigong, the warm-ups, we use them in the actual form. I lift up my heel of one foot, my empty side, and I take a slightly wider stance. As I do this, I turn my palm over, I drop my other arm, and I look in the direction that my fingers are pointing. So this hand is open and my arm is high. My elbow is high because I want to open up this side of my body. It's not my shoulder that's going to open up that side of my body, it's lifting my elbow up. This arm is bow-like, okay, so it's not straight out, it's nice and soft. So the hand comes over, I look in the direction where my fingers are pointing, and I gently bring my weight to make this side of my body nice and full, so I bow this side of my body. Okay, not too much. My knees bent, my weight, about 70% of my weight is in this leg, my bowing side. I slowly bring my hands above my head, transfer my weight to the center, and by the time my weight comes to the center, both hands are pointing upwards. Then I go down to the other side and I repeat the movement just on the other side. This arm is open, elbow is high, armpits open and lengthening this side of the body with a bowing. Knees bent, about 70% of my weight's in this side. This arm, shoulders relaxed, my shoulder blades relaxed, bow shaped. Come back to the center and bow. So this movement we call the rainbow dance. Good, well done. Relax your arms. So I'm going to show you a variation on the rainbow dance, again if your arms are unable to come above your head. So from here, the previous movement, when we were lifting the sky, We've done our spirals. Come back to the center, turn your palm, and everything can happen in front of you rather than above your head. And you can still create the bow-like body. Hands come up and to the other side. Up to the other side. And you adjust the movement so it's comfortable for you. And in time, what you might feel is that your hands and arms might be able to raise up. But always work to 70% of what you're able to do. Okay, so they're the first 3 movements. I'm just going to run through them very quickly. So we've finished movement 1. We lift the sky, arms up, heels up and down. Then we spiral. Then we rainbow dance. Now once I finish the rainbow dance, and I know I'm going to transition into the next movement, I bring my foot back into my hip width stance. My hands are pointing upwards. Now I turn my palms and I just let my shoulders drop, elbows drop, and of course then my hands are going to drop. Now you'll see now my hands are just a little lower than the height of my shoulders. That's important. As soon as you do this, your shoulders have to do a lot of work. So drop your elbow, feel like you've got little plum weights on your elbow, and this really helps. Now my hands, our arms are only 50% extended, and that's done on purpose. So when they come down, I want to be able to give them room to go outwards. Okay? When they go out, it's like I'm lengthening an elastic band from this hand to this hand, right across my body. Just lengthening. I'm not going to ping the elastic band, I just want to lengthen it. Good, let's do that again. So the hands are going to finish up here or here. They float down, shoulders, elbows, hands, palms face the ground and lengthen. Perfect. Now, from this position, I'm going to turn to show you where we go next. We need to create a triangle with the body. The triangle involves your knees, your pelvis and your shoulders. So when I go down, I will drop down into my sit bones, the bones at the base of my pelvis. They're the bones that you would actually connect with a seat. That's why they call them the sit bones. Bend your knees. Go into your sit bones and just let your spine stay straight, but just fall onto the diagonal. So you've created this triangle between your knees, pelvis, and your shoulders. So when my hands have extended out here, I'm going to create my triangle, and as I do this, my arms rotate backwards, and you only go as far as you can, but ideally what we're looking for is the hands to eventually come up, so your palms are facing upwards again. Again, don't force it, only come to where you're comfortable to go. I've got many students that can only turn a little way, that's absolutely fine. But when they started, they weren't even able to go that far, so just be a little patient with yourself. And don't think I can't do it. Okay, everyone can do something, and it's just allowing the body and doing these movements to melt away the tension, so eventually you'll have an increased mobility within your body, but deep in your body is what we're looking for. So we sink down, create the triangle, turn your palms up. Now from here, the arms come down in line with your straight spine. Now, my weight's in my thighs, not my knees. And I am lengthening through my spine, so as if I'm being lengthened like an elastic band from the crown of my head to my tailbone, and through my arms, palms and fingers as well. Now I'm going to release that tension by slowly rising up just a little and bring my hands up halfway up my torso. So I've released the elasticity of that rubber band feeling, but now I'm going to rebuild that elasticity. So I'm going to go back into the position that I just came from. Good. Let's just do that little bit again. So we start off from hands above our head, out, extend, create your triangle, turn your palms over, bring your arms down in line with your straight spine, gently bring the body up, bring your hands up halfway up your torso, and then go back down, straight spine, lengthening through the spine, through your arms, through your hands and fingers. Excellent. So now, what do we do from then? We're getting towards the end here. It's what we call a bird's beak. And the bird's beak is when we have all fingers meet the thumb. Just like so. Okay, so the thumb gathers in all the 4 fingers and they all connect together, and we're going to do that on both hands. So once we've come from here and the hands are open, we create our bird's beaks. And then we slowly stand again and we bring the bird's beaks, the points of your bird's beaks, so the points of your fingers, into your armpit without lifting your shoulders. Okay, so it's better off, you're better off by having your hands lower than bringing your shoulders up. Okay, so you slowly stand, bring the points of your bird's beaks up, in through the armpits, slowly out in front of you, open up the bird's beaks, flat palms, gently push away all your unwanted stuff from within you, and you're pushing with your mind, not with force. And that's the formal end of the movement. And just to complete it, the palms turn downwards, outwards, downwards, and done. Now I can already hear you say, my goodness, I can't remember that. That's what these mini masterclasses are for. You can press play as often as you like and stop it, pause it, just work out where you're up to comfortably, then add on and add on and add on. Let's do this all together, and I'm going to go super slow. So let's do a couple of the previous movement. Just to finish it off, the microcosmic orbit. Excellent. Turn your palms, fingers point, elbows bent. Lift the sky. Sink the body. Lift the sky in your heels. Good. And now we spiral. And now the rainbow dance. Widen stance, bow the body, up and out. Back up to the center, bring your leg back in for a hip width stance. Turn your palms and out. Extend. Now triangle with the body, turn your palms over. Bring your arms down in line. Slowly rise, bring your hands up and go back down. Bird's beaks, slowly rise. Bird's beaks in through the armpits and open them and out. Palms face down, palms face out, palms face down, and we're done. Okay. Breathing. What do we do with the breathing as well? I am going to add the breathing in. I haven't done that yet because there's been a lot to remember with the movements. But let's do the breathing. If you get the breathing a little confused, Don't worry about it too much. You can always add the breathing in later. Remember, Qigong is a life practice. Don't put pressure on yourself to perfect it immediately. That's just not going to happen. Slowly come at this, slowly add the layers in. But the breathing is important, so long as you're breathing. Which way round it goes, that's not going to really affect too much your practice. It will just make it smoother when you get it, bang on. But take your time to do that. So with the breathing, we're just going to do this a couple of times now, just so you can get the breathing in. Arms up. Now we sink. And rise. Breathe in and out. And in and out and in. And when we go into the spiral, it's an exhale. Out, in, out, in, out, and in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And then we come back to center. In, out. Breathe in, out. In, out. Bird's beaks. Breathe in and out. And there we go. Movement 2, lifting the sky. Have fun with it. Any questions? Please, I'm there for you to ask. Take care. Have fun practicing.